Welcome back, everybody. This is Island Hopper TV, and today we're going to take a look at the best things to do when visiting Rome, Italy. We're going to show you all around. There will be timestamps below, so you can skip forward to any one of those destinations as you need to. First up, we're starting out here at the Pantheon of Rome. This building has been here since 609 AD. It was a former Roman temple for the Catholic Church here in Rome. Very old building. The exact date of when this was originally constructed is unknown, but you'll notice there's an oculus right in the middle, and they say that when it was commissioned, the oculus was there to let people in the temple be in direct contact with the heavens. The word Pantheon in Greek actually means devoted to all gods, and before it was a Catholic temple, it was a church for all gods. And when in Rome, you absolutely have to do as Romans do and eat like a Roman, which is the Italian food here. And there's going to be plenty of different Italian foods. Carbonara pasta is very popular, porchetta. There's also going to be some variety of seafood that you'll get here, shrimp. Obviously, Rome being about 45 to 50 minutes away from the coast allows them to still get fresh seafood, even though they're landlocked. They're also going to have various types of ice cream. You've got gelato, you've got fresh pizza, bread, so much food here in Rome. Plenty of fresh produce, everything from oranges and citrus to fresh veggies. Also, you're going to find a butcher here if you're looking for fresh cuts of meat, salami, and then, of course, bread everywhere. Next up, we're headed to Piazza Novana, and this particular piazza is actually very famous because of the Baroque square that it is. It's also known for several masterpieces of art from artists such as Bernini and Borromini. It also has beautiful fountains, three of which stand out when you're here: Fontana dei Quattro Fiumi, and then they have Fontana del Moro and Fontana del Nettuno. This here square is actually built on the ruins of the Stadium of Domitian, which was one of the famous theaters or show areas for the ancient Romans. It actually dates all the way back to the 1st century AD is when they were playing games here at this location. But nowadays it's a popular place to visit, take pictures, hang out, and also people watch. Now on to the Trevi Fountain. This 18th century fountain actually stands 86 feet tall and 161 feet in width. The name origin actually comes from the Latin word trivium, which actually means the intersection of three streets. The location of the Trevi Fountains is located on the aquifer, the Aqua Virgo, which actually led into the Baths of Agrippa. It served for more than 400 years as the aqueduct for the baths. So that's what you're looking at here. You're looking at an intersection for three different roads and the Aqua Virgo aquifer. And next up, we're headed to Castel St. Angelo, which was actually built as a mausoleum for the Emperor Hadrian. So he built this for himself, but it eventually became a fortress and a castle for the popes of the Vatican City. At one point in time, this building actually stood as the tallest structure in Rome. Nowadays, it is a museum. The best way to approach this mausoleum is across the Tiber Bridge, which actually crosses the Tiber River, and you will see on each side two statues of the Archangel Michael. And next up, we're actually headed over to the world famous Colosseum. This is the largest standing ancient amphitheater ever built. So this thing is big and it is amazing. It's an elliptical amphitheater, and here they actually had gladiatorial contests and public spectacles where they would hunt animals and where actual gladiators would fight each other until the death. They said that the stadium itself would actually hold around 60,000 people for one of these shows. The Colosseum is actually built of travertine limestone, which is a tough volcanic rock with a brick-faced concrete. It was constructed under the Emperor Vespasian in the year 80 AD, so this is a very old structure. And next up, I'm going to recommend going down to the Tiber River. Now you can walk around here or you can get a boat, but what you're going to see along here is ancient Rome and how this river tributary actually contributed to the growth of this ancient city. No matter the season, it's always a great time to go up and down the river here. In the springtime, it's going to be the best because of the flowers blooming, but if you can, try and take a boat up and down the river to see all the bridges. And now on to St. Peter's Basilica. And you must go inside if you really want to see amazing architecture. It was built between the years 1506 and 1626, so it took 120 years to build this basilica. And then just outside of the St. Peter's Basilica is St. Peter's Square. This is where the Pope usually addresses the Catholic world. And the significance of St. Peter's Square and Basilica is this is the location where St. Peter was actually buried. And it sits just outside the Vatican City, where the Sistine Chapel is also accessible. Lines do build up fast here, so show up early. And now when it comes to neighborhoods, check out Centro Storico. This is going to be where they're going to have these old classic restaurants and boutiques and galleries. And just walking through here, you're going to see how people were living, and still to this day, people actually rent and live in Centro Storico. But remember, this is the heart and soul of Rome, very close to many of the main attractions. So if you can get an Airbnb here, or if you can get a hotel staying right here in Centro Storico, is going to be a great location. Now what we're going to do is a virtual tour where you actually get to hear what it sounds like walking through here. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now we're at the iconic Spanish Steps. This actually goes up the hill to Piazza di Spagna. And this area right here is historic because it dates all the way back to the 1700s when these were actually built by a Frenchman named Etienne Geifer. And we'll do a natural sound again so you guys can hear what it's like to be here. Now we're going past the mausoleum of Caesar Augustus on to Trastevere. Locals consider this to be the heart of Rome. It is also famous for its bohemian vibes, restaurants, wine bars, boutiques, and so much more. But again, this is going to be where you get that vibrance of Rome. It's just across of the river from Centro Storico. This is an area you'll want to go for the coolest bars and the most down-to-earth vibe that you will find in Rome. So try and get a hotel nearby here. This time we're going to need our passport because we're going to go inside the Vatican City Museums here. Now there are very many museums to check out while in the Vatican. One of them is not necessarily a museum, it's a chapel, and it's called the Sistine Chapel. You'll look up at the roof and you'll see an amazing piece of art painted by none other than Michelangelo. There are 26 museums inside of the Vatican, so do take note of your favorite ones, including the Gregorian Egyptian Museum, the Carriage Pavilion, Raphael's Room, the Spiral Staircase, and there's many more that you can also check out. Remember, there's 26. So when you go inside the Vatican, bring your passport with you so that you're allowed to process immigration, but also remember to check out these museums. And as we continue to show you around the Vatican's museums here, what you can expect to see, check the links below in the description because we will have several other videos like Paris and Barcelona in the links below. And as we continue to show you more on this list, I want to ask you guys in the audience to drop a comment below telling us your favorite things to do in Rome when visiting. Speaking of favorite things, a bullet train. I really like getting on a bullet train from Rome and going up to Florence and being there within about 2 hours. That's great. Or if I wanted to go south, I can get to Naples. So you can easily access places like Florence or Naples from Rome, even if you want to just do a day trip. So remember, check out those bullet trains like Trenitalia. Now let's keep this tour moving and show you more of Rome. Now we're headed to the Altar of the Fatherland. This is an impressive national monument, really. It almost looks like it could be the Capitol building, but it's actually a monument for Victor Emmanuel II, who was the first king of a unified Italy. It's really cool to see two Italian flags waving in the wind, and you can walk up the steps, and it's quite the amazing journey up. It's really scenic and beautiful, so I do recommend at least stopping here. It is right next to the Roman Forum, so it's conveniently located also. And once you get to the top, you can walk inside and see what's going on inside there. Next up is the Piazza del Popolo. This is actually nearby the Spanish Steps, so you can do both of those when you're in that area. It's about a 15 to 20 minute cab ride from Centro Storico. There is also a large Egyptian obelisk, so you will know you're there in the square when you see that. Also, you can see what it looks like from the air here. Quite the impressive place right in the city center. And now what we'll actually do is head over to the Roman Forum. We're going to walk around this area. This is where they have the Circus Maximus and they have the old city. So we're going to walk around and do a virtual tour. Let's do it. This is the Palatine Hill.
Werden sie tot im Teich.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed us taking you around this beautiful city here in Rome, this ancient metropolis that's now a big modern metropolis. I would recommend at least 72 to 96 hours if you're going to stop by Rome. It is a must-see. Everyone should see it once in their life for sure. All right, Island Hoppers, that's going to conclude this episode of Rome, Best Things to Do. Now we're going to actually head to our next destination, which will be Barcelona. So we'll see you guys on the next video. And thanks everyone for subscribing and joining Island Hopper TV.